I like her. I can talk to her. We're talking about things. She smiles. She laughs. She tells stories. She's into it. She's happy for me. You know, when we hear the heartbeat for the first time, it's not just there's a heartbeat. It's like, wow, you may kiss the bride. Sometimes we patch it into the husband if he can't be there. It is an emotional, it's one of the biggest emotional experiences in a family's life. And I think that when they feel that someone can allow that aspect of it into the process, I think that they tend to open up in a way. I don't think it's necessarily about evaluating different models of care. I don't think people come to it with that even foreknowledge or ability to make that distinction. But it's based on their feeling.
And I think the focus now is so dramatic because what has been happening since the 1990s when managed care came in? You know, healthcare is big business. It's about productivity. How many appointments are given every 10 minutes? And so now the contrast is massive. When you can have a prenatal visit that is an hour and a half and someone actually sits down and talks to you and knows your name and knows your family and knows your other children and has time to teach and be with woman, because that's what midwifery means, with woman. It makes the midwifery model of care so drastically different to what the healthcare system that we have in this country now. And it's not improving outcome. I mean, getting back to the bottom line, people are dissatisfied, and insurance companies are getting richer and so on. And I think that's why now there's such a focus, because it's clear.
It's a viable alternative in a way.
And it's a viable alternative that has good outcomes, has satisfaction for families, and it's economically viable. We have proven in the midwifery model of care that we can spend time with women and also pay the overhead.
Jessica, when you were in labor for 70+ hours, was there ever a moment when you thought, maybe I should be in a hospital?
No.
You're a bigger woman than I am.
You know, if you'd seen me at that moment, I'm not sure you'd say that. But I think the thing is that I was absolutely uncomfortable. More uncomfortable than I think I've ever been and hope to ever be again. And I reserved it in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the trick that I played on myself.
Yeah.
If this gets to be too much,
yeah,
I will go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, I had really no idea what I would do when I got there, and I didn't think that was going to be pleasant either. And I also knew, that was the reason why you make a relationship with someone like Cara or our doula, or why I had family there would be to support me, to get a team of people there who knew how important this was to me, who could sort of see me through those darker moments where I felt like I couldn't do it. And try to convince me that that wasn't true. And I actually think one of the darkest moments that I had was in the acupuncturist's office. For some reason, I felt like I could talk to her, and I just started, like she asked me some particular question. I can't remember what it was, and I just I feel like I can't do it. And it did. Yeah. She did some needle, I coughed up some ball of phlegm, and she said, "Aha, I knew it. There was too much mucus," and then I went into labor. It was really like that.
So she wanted to stay there on the toilet. And we had to get her out of there before she had the baby there.
Tried
to acupuncturist's house.
Right, I couldn't pee, but I tried to pee, and Cara comes in and says, "What are you doing?" Oh. So,
she wasn't
I reserved it as an option in my mind to comfort myself, but I never seriously considered going to the hospital.
Yeah. I too never said anything out loud because I was like, if I say it, we might go there. I don't want to go there. This is better. This is better.
Yeah, it was definitely better.
And at the hospital, when the going gets rough, my clients had told me, "I want to go home."
There's always any place but here in this body.
There's always transition. That's what my mother said. She wanted to go home. So you just want to be somewhere else than transition. So,
And we're going to soon move on to questions from the audience, but I wanted to sort of bring this all together by asking, what do you all hope for and kind of envision for the future of midwifery care and gynecological care in general? Sort of now that this ball has started rolling in this way.
Well, in the ideal world, my dream is that the type of care that Cara provides in a home birth setting is the type of care that all women receive regardless of the setting. And I think that's what we have to advocate for. So whatever it is, and even if you start out wanting a home birth, and it turns out that you have to be transferred, that it is a smooth transfer, that it is supported, that the people greeting you in the transfer facility are supportive, and you're not looked down upon or ostracized, and so on. So I think that's what we have to fight for, so that wherever you choose to birth your baby, that experience be one that is supported and be safe, and support wherever you want, because this is an option for some but not for all, just like the hospital is an option for some and not for all. And I think that's what I've dedicated my career to make sure that women get the care that they deserve.
Well, I believe that truly informed consent is essential, and that means telling people both sides of the story. For example, 7 out of 8 breech births will go fine. 1 out of 8 won't. So the other 7 people, I guess they're just going to have cesareans. If I was one of those 7 people, I'd say no. Then where am I left? How could I give anything different to my client? And so I think it's about personalized care. It's about individualizing. People are all having different orientations. We live in a very diverse society, and to not respect this part of diversity, which is really very much what the human body has been doing for millennium, is wrong. So I feel like statistics are not what it's all about, and statistics can be viewed in different ways, and risk can be viewed in different ways. And why are the risks of nature somehow not okay, but the risks of iatrogenic interventions are okay? I don't think it's okay. I feel very differently. And so there needs to be more of a dialogue, and there needs to be more true choice and truly informed consent in terms of what people's choices are.
Actually, I can be quite concrete about how I see the near future. And that is that I would really like for the midwifery model of care to be the model of care that dominates in this country. And I think it would be really wonderful if all pregnant women that were low risk or high risk had the option of having a midwife as one of their care providers. And so that, for example, if a woman has a high-risk condition, a thyroid anomaly, a thrombophilia, she could still have a midwife and who collaborates with a physician. A lot of people don't really understand that breakdown, and then they have to kind of live on one side of the fence. So I would actually like for the midwives, like in the Netherlands, where any pregnant woman sees a midwife. Even my Australian dad said, well, you can pay an OB to sit in the hospital, but the midwife's doing your care. That's what I would like, because I think midwives are really knowledgeable about where our scope of practice begins and ends. So I don't want to take care of a woman who's high risk if I feel that I'm, my limited knowledge and experience is enhancing the risk of childbirth for her child. No midwife wants that. It's really a simple distinction for us. So I would like that everyone who's pregnant initially saw a midwife so that she would get the nurturing touch, the information, because we're not rushed. That's our model of care. And that the OBGYNs that are more interested in doing high-risk care provide that without feeling threatened by the midwives. I mean, it's a really sad state of affairs that there are a sprinkling of doctors that are wonderful at working with midwives, but most of the rest of the obstetrical profession is just kind of spreading ignorance about who we are. And that's upsetting.
I'm sorry, have you seen that change at all? Are you seeing more doctors come to midwives now? And Aleida maybe has that too.
Well, no, I think there's actually a knee-jerk response to the movie. I've had several, and I love the movie, and it's a great piece of information, but I've had several people come to my practice consulting saying, one of them said, who just had a beautiful 6-hour labor in her bathtub, said to me that the physician who she transferred out from to come to have a home birth said, in the movie they had a row of SUVs waiting down the block, and that's not what it is when you're in home birth. So they're trying to kind of augment the fear as usual, and it's upsetting because I really want to work collaboratively with physicians. And the physicians I work with, I really